A federal agency caught red-handed. HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, used its official taxpayer-funded website to accuse Democrats, the so-called radical left, of causing the shutdown. Yeah, you heard that right. Not Fox News, not a Trump tweet, an actual government homepage turned into a propaganda board. Think about that for a moment. HUD is supposed to deliver housing policy, rental aid, and stability for struggling Americans. Instead, in the middle of a government shutdown, it blasted out a partisan attack. And here's the kicker. This isn't just a scandal about one agency. It's about whether the machinery of government itself has been hijacked for political war. So, how did we get here? And what does it mean if agencies start acting like campaign operatives instead of neutral public servants? Let's rewind to the moment it all cracked open. October 1st, 2025. At 12:01 a.m., the government shuts down. No funding resolution, no compromise, no deal. The numbers tell the story. 750,000 federal workers furloughed, 41% of the health department sidelined, essential programs put on ice. Shutdowns aren't new. Obama's administration endured one in 2013. Trump engineered the longest in U.S. history back in 2018-2019. But this time, the air is poisonous. Why? Because Trump is back in the Oval Office, and this shutdown is more than a budget standoff. It's a battlefield for political dominance. Republicans, riding a razor-thin House majority, rammed through a funding bill laced with deep cuts to Medicaid, housing aid, and environmental programs. Democrats in the Senate refused. They called it a ransom note. Cut the programs people depend on, or we burn the government down. And burn it did.
That's when HUD detonated its own bomb. On its official site, instead of warnings about suspended services, it posted a banner blaming Democrats, branding them the radical left, responsible for the chaos. Imagine logging into the Social Security site and seeing Democrats stole your benefits. That's how raw this was. The firestorm was instant. Reuters screenshotted the site. The image went viral. Democrats erupted. Hakeem Jeffries thundered, "This is propaganda on the taxpayer's dime." Warren Wellen went further. If this doesn't violate the Hatch Act, then the Hatch Act is meaningless. The Hatch Act, a law designed to keep government agencies non-partisan. No partisan campaigning, no political messaging on official platforms. In normal times, violations trigger fines, firings, or investigations. But these aren't normal times. Trump doubled down. At a rally in Ohio that same night, he praised HUD. Finally, an agency that tells the truth. Democrats want this shutdown because they hate America's workers. The crowd roared. His supporters ate it up. Meanwhile, legal scholars warned if political appointees ordered HUD to post that message, it's not just a violation, it's systemic corruption. The media frenzy split down predictable lines. CNN labeled it state propaganda in real time. MSNBC warned of a collapse of institutional neutrality. Fox News defended HUD. They're just being honest. But here's the crucial detail. According to leaks, the wording came directly from political appointees inside HUD, not career staff. Translation: this wasn't a glitch. It was deliberate. That makes it bigger, because if HUD did it intentionally, other agencies could be next. EPA, IRS, DOJ, any of them could be weaponized to blast out partisan messages. The fallout hit on multiple fronts. 1. Public trust implodes. Polls already showed only 19% of Americans trusted Washington to do the right thing most of the time. After HUD's stunt, that fragile trust looks shattered. Lawsuits incoming. Two major labor unions, AFGE and AFSCME, already sued the administration this week over mass layoff threats tied to the shutdown. Now watchdogs like Crew are preparing legal complaints targeting HUD's website stunt. Courts may be asked to draw the line. Can agencies openly peddle propaganda? Political explosions.
House Democrats are prepping hearings. Imagine Alexandria Cortez grilling a HUD official on live TV. Who ordered you to post partisan attacks on taxpayers' time? If whistleblowers testify that orders came from political appointees, that's Watergate-level television. Republicans push back, framing Democrats as melting down over one honest statement. Their argument? HUD is just telling it like it is. Real Americans caught in crossfire. HUD isn't just an acronym. It handles billions in housing aid, rent relief, community grants. And yet, instead of helping struggling families, it's firing political grenades. To renters waiting for updates, it feels like a betrayal. And here's where it spirals. Trump himself signaled approval. By praising HUD, he effectively told every agency, go ahead, turn your site into a campaign weapon. Today, it's HUD. Tomorrow, the DOJ homepage could call investigations radical left witch hunts. Next week, the IRS could smear Democratic donors. The precedent? Terrifying. But here's the part no one's really asking yet. What happens if this actually sticks? If propaganda becomes standard operating procedure in the US government? That's where the real danger begins. So let's pull back. Let's look at the bigger picture. If HUD's partisan message stands, if it isn't punished, then the precedent is massive. For decades, even through political storms, America clung to one fragile assumption: federal agencies remain neutral. The IRS doesn't run campaign ads. The census doesn't play favorites. The Bureau of Labor Statistics doesn't twist job numbers for politics. HUD was supposed to provide housing guidance, not act like a campaign headquarters. That wall is now cracking. We've seen cracks before. Nixon's administration used the IRS and FBI to target political enemies. Trump's first presidency leaned on DOJ to back his narratives. Even during COVID, we watched political appointees clash with scientists inside the CDC. But those were battles behind the curtain. What HUD did is different. It's propaganda plastered on the front page for every citizen to see. And the symbolism matters. It says this government belongs to one party only. History shows where this leads. Nixon's abuse of agencies helped fuel Watergate. McCarthy's witch hunts weaponized hearings to destroy careers. Clinton's impeachment turned oversight into partisan theater. Each time, faith in government took years, sometimes decades to recover. But here's why this feels even more dangerous. It's not just backroom manipulation anymore. It's open, bold, in your face. HUD's move signals a shift from quiet pressure to loud propaganda. Strategically, Trump sees an opening. If agencies act like partisan allies, he wins on two fronts. He bypasses mainstream media by embedding his message directly into government channels. He forces Democrats into a lose-lose trap. If they fight back too hard, he paints them as hysterical. If they don't fight back, propaganda becomes normalized. For Democrats, the risk couldn't be higher. Failed to push back, and they effectively greenlight every agency to be weaponized. Push too aggressively, and they risk looking like they're obsessed with optics, while Americans suffered the shutdown's real pain. This is the fork in the road. Either HUD has made an example, or it becomes the blueprint. Let's game this out. 3 possible futures. Scenario 1. Oversight strikes back. Democrats launch hearings in the House. HUD officials are dragged before committees. Whistleblowers testify that orders came from political appointees, not career staff. The Office of Special Counsel steps in, ruling that HUD violated the Hatch Act. Trump rages on Truth Social, calls it a witch hunt, but agencies get spooked. The propaganda wave slows.
Scenario 2, normalization. The opposite outcome. Hearings stall in partisan gridlock. Republicans shield HUD. Democrats look powerless. Other agencies quietly test the waters. DOJ press releases start attacking prosecutors. IRS messages hint at partisan fraud. Defense bulletins spin policy as campaign wins. Government neutrality dissolves. By the 2026 midterms, Americans can't tell where governance ends and campaign propaganda begins. Scenario 3. Judicial showdown. Watchdogs and unions flood the courts with lawsuits. Federal judges rule that agencies cannot use taxpayer-funded platforms for partisan attacks. Trump defies the ruling, daring courts to enforce it. Suddenly, it's not just Congress versus Trump, it's the judiciary versus the executive, a constitutional collision. Which path is most likely? That depends on 2 things: Democrats' appetite for a fight and public reaction. If Americans shrug, normalization takes root. If outrage builds, the courts may be forced to step in. Either way, this is no small skirmish. It's a fight over the very soul of American governance. Let's not kid ourselves. The timing isn't accidental. This propaganda war lands just as the shutdown throws chaos into the lives of everyday Americans, and 2026 midterms loom like a storm cloud. For Republicans, HUD's move tests a strategy: use the power of government to control the narrative, directly from agency platforms. If it works, they'll expand it. If it backfires, they'll blame Democrats for overreacting. For Democrats, this is a defining moment. Do they let propaganda slide in exchange for focusing on ending the shutdown, or do they make HUD the hill to die on, betting that voters care about integrity as much as paychecks? The broader consequence: public trust, already at historic lows. If citizens believe government agencies are just extensions of whichever party holds power, the collapse of faith could become permanent. Once trust breaks, rebuilding it may be impossible. And here's the cold truth: a government without trust is a government on borrowed time.
Here's the question. Is this scandal a turning point, proof that America's institutions can still be defended, or is it just another brick in the wall of political chaos? If HUD can post propaganda today, what's to stop the DOJ from branding investigations as radical left witch hunts, or the IRS from warning taxpayers that Democrats caused fraud? Where does it stop? This isn't just about a shutdown. It's about whether Americans can believe anything their own government says. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is this accountability, or is it just another performance in Washington's endless circus? And don't forget, hit like, share this video, and subscribe. Because trust me, this story